Hello there. Welcome back to Financial Accounting N5. In this video, we want to continue with the question 2 of November 2023. And on that question paper, in the last video, we did the first part whereby we calculated the total comprehensive income for the year, and we found it as 423,787. So this is a continuation. We are going with the second part of the question, whereby we are going to prepare the statement of changes in equity. So obviously now we have the amount for the total comprehensive income. So we are just going to put the amount for total comprehensive income that we calculated in the last video. So our question reads, you are provided with pre-adjustment trial balance of partners, which is neutral in petrol, for the year ending on 28 February 2021. So this is the list of balances that we are given. So you see that this list of balances is going down, and then we put the adjustment section that we have there, where we have adjustments that are listed there. So if we move on to the next page, you'd see that that's where we are going to have the question. Let's try to see what we have there. We also have additional information, continuation of additional information. And I believe that it reads, prepare the following in the box of partnership of Electro and Petro. Then we are given the first part, which is preparation of statement of profit and loss. So on this preparation of statement of profit and loss, we did it in the last video, and the amount that we are having there is 423. 423,787. This is the amount that we have for statement of comprehensive income. So on the second part, it requires us to prepare statement of changes in equity of liquid traders for the year ending 20 February 2021. So this is the part that we are going to prepare in this video. So if you come here on the answer section, you see that this is the statement of changes in equity that we have for liquid traders for the year ending 20 February 2021. So on the part of our comprehensive income, you see that the total comprehensive income it's already calculated from the last video. So what we are going to do is, so the amount that we have for total comprehensive income is 423,787. So it's pre-entered here because we calculated it in the last video. So I would say that it also appears on the column of total equity. So we are going to put it in the column of appropriation, then it will be again in the column for total equity. So this is what we have. So you'd see that in our statement of changes in equity, we are going to start with the opening balance. So we are going to check the opening balance that we have in terms of capital account, and then also we are going to check in terms of current account. And obviously, at the end of it, we have last column for total equity, whereby we are going to enter the balance that we'll be having at this side. So we can go there to check our opening balances. So if you come here at the beginning of the question, you see that our opening balances are given here when that on capital for Nictro with 200,000, for Petro with 100,000. So these are the balances that we're going to start with. Then for if you check there, we have columns for current account, and for current account see we are seeing that Nictro is 50,600, which is a credit balance. And then we have Petro, which is a debit balance, 4,900. So if the current account is got a debit balance, like in this case, it means we're going to show it as a negative figure in the statement of changes in equity. But if it's a credit, show it as positive. At the same to capital, these are credits, so we are going to show them as positives. So this is what we have. So we can just go there, summarize in terms of the opening balances that we have. So if you come to your answer section, you see that for the capital, let's just say for capital, for Nitro, remember the balance that we are having there is 200,000. So we are going to say 200,000. Then for petrol, we are having 100,000. Then we move on to the current account. Remember, for Nitro, it was 15,600. So we're going to say 15,600. Then for petrol, it was a debit balance. It was supposed to show it as a negative. So it's 4,900, which is a negative. So we can just show in brackets to show that this is a negative. And then on the total column there, we are going to add all the balances that we have there in the first row. That is 200,000 plus 100,000 plus 50,600 minus 4,900. Then we get your answer there, which you are supposed to put there on the total equity section. So if you add there and subtract for a negative balance for petrol, the net balance that you're going to get there is 310,700. So this is what we have. Then we go to the next item that we have in the statement of changes in equity. We'll see that we've got total comprehensive income, which is already entered, and then we've got salaries of employees. So you can just go back there and question, check what are the salaries of employees. But remember, all this information, we get it in the section, the partnership agreement. Remember, the partnership agreement set before the partnership starts to operate. So when the partnership is operating, it has to abide by the terms of the agreement. So in this section of the partnership agreement, that's where we are going to get the calculations of interest on capital, interest on drawings. That's where the agreement will have been made, and then in terms of which partners are going to keep it given salaries. So you come here with A, each partner must be credited with a salary of 115,000 per annum or salary being paid. So what it means is 115,000 is the salary that is going to be given for each partner. So we are going to come here on the other section and put those figures as our salaries of employees. We have got 115. Remember, the figures for salary, we adjust them in the current account, not in the capital. So we come here, put for debt row 115,000, 115,000, the same thing that we are going to do here, 115,000. So having done this, remember, salaries of employees, we show them as a positive under current account. So we add the two, and the total that we get there, we are supposed to adjust it in the appropriation account. So if you say 115,000 plus 115,000, we're going to get 430,000. So this 230,000 again, you have to come in the column of appropriation. So we are here. So the total for the salaries will come in this column, which is for the appropriation that I will show it as a negative. So we're going to say 230,000. So this is what we have. We are saying subtract. Remember, the salaries are going to reduce the figure that is coming from the comprehensive income. So we show it as a negative, but in the current account, we have shown it as a positive. So this is what we have. So remember, in the current account, salaries goes to the credit side. So that's why we are adding everything that goes to the credit side of the current account is added, and everything that goes to the debit side of the current account is subtracted in this form. So come here, we have got another item that we are going to look at, which is interest on capital. So we go to check again in the terms of partnership agreement, are we going to calculate the interest on capital? So if you come here, you see the following interest rates for the partners accounts are applicable. Interest on capital, we've got 14%. So and then 40% per annum, and neutral deposit and further capital contribution of 50,000 rands of 1 August 2020. So what does it mean? It means for the total balance that we are giving there for neutral, the 50,000 of that balance was deposited on 1 August. So remember, our year is ending on the end of February, which is 28th February 2021. This amount was deposited on 1 August 2020. So we count the number of months that are there, that this capital was in the business from 1 August, it stayed the way of August, then September, October, November, December, January, February. Then we count how many months are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's supposed to 7. So what does it mean? It means this 50,000, I was in the business for 7 months. So we're going to make a proportion of 7 months. So we're going to say times 7 over 12. So remember, we've got 50,000 there. So we're going to say 50,000. Then you multiply by 14% is a decimal, which is 0.14. And then you multiply by the number of months that is stayed over total months per year. So we're going to say 7 times 7 over 12. So if you calculate it like that, let's try to see what we get there. We are saying 50,000, and then we multiply by 0.14, and then we multiply by 7 over 12. So you are going to get, you are going to get 4,083. 4,083. So here we are saying it's 4,083. And then I remember also we have got some commas there, 38. So this 3 is not going to change our 3 here. So our answer remains as 4,083. So this is the figure that we have for this 50,000, which stayed for 7 months. So if you go back there now, you see that the total capital for each row was 200,000. So it means the 50,000 came along there. Remember, these balances are at the end of the at the end of the year, 2021, after adding 50,000. So you're supposed to say 200,000 minus the 50,000 that we have already calculated its interest, then we are going to get 150,000. So this 150,000 is the one that is got interest that is calculated for the way. So we're going to say 14% is a decimal 0.14, then you multiply by 150,000, then see what you get there. Let's try to calculate. We are saying 0.14, then you multiply by 150,000. Then you get 200, we get 21,000. So this is the answer that we are having, get 1,000. And this 1,000, now we add it to the interest of that we got there, which is 4,083. So we are going to add 4,083 there. Then we say this one plus 4,083. Get the total interest for that partner. So if you add the two, you see that the total that you are supposed to get there is 25,083. So this is the interest for this partner, which is our neutral. So for neutral, we're going to put 25,083 as our interest on the capital. So we go to there, on the other section, and they're saying interest on capital for, remember the column that we are having there. The column that we are having for neutral is this one, having this column. So that's where we're going to put that 25,083 for interest and capital. So if you come here, see that this is the column. So we are saying 25,083. So this interest and capital for neutral. Then you go there. We also have 14% for the other partner. So we're going to check the balance that we have for the other partner of capital. So if you come back, you see that for the other partner, this petrol capital is here, we've got 100,000. So what I'm going to say here, we're just going to say 0.14 is 14%. Then you multiply by the total for capital for petrol, which is 100,000. And obviously, you see that the answer that I'm going to get there is 14,000. So this is our invested capital for the other partner. So you go there and enter that amount is 14,000. So if you come here, you see that we now 14,000. So here we put 14,000. So remember, this balances also go to the credit side of the capital account. So it shows them as positive in the current. We show them as positive in the current account because they are credited in the current account. So but if you go to the now to the appropriation, we're going to show them as negative. So you now add the two and then adjust them only with the appropriation. So if you add the two, you'll see that the answer that you are going to get, you're going to get 39,000 it's 83. But remember, what you are adding here, you're subtracting here. So here you're going to put it, show it as what? As a negative. Then the next item we have there is interest on drawings. So we can just check here the description of the next item. Here you are saying interest on drawings. So we go back to the partnership agreement there and see what is the terms in terms of calculation of interest on drawings. But here, the point that we are having here is reading come here, interest on drawings at 10% per annum as for 3 months. So very important to take note that it is for 3 months. So we're going to say 10% of the drawings. It means the drawings were for 3 months only. So we've got 16,500 that week for Nitro and Petro 10,700. That's the total drawings that we have. And we are told that the interest of drawings is 10%. So we're going to say if you come here, you have to see that we are now going to say for the drawings, let's start with the Nitro. So we are saying Nitro, this is for Nitro. We are saying 10%, which is 0.10, and then you multiply by the total for drawings for Nitro, 16,500. The answer that we get, you multiply by 3 over 12. Remember, they are saying it's for 3 months. So we calculate there. To see that the answer that we are supposed to get there, let's try to see. We're going to get 413 after rounding off to one decimal place. So we're saying after rounding off to the whole number, round off to the whole number, you get 413. So this is for neutral. Then we go for petrol. For petrol now, we are saying, for petrol now, we are saying 0.10 again. Then we multiply by the total for drawings for petrol, it's 10,600. Then we multiply by 3 over 4. And then the answer that we are supposed to get there is 265. So we've got 265. So we're going to enter this as our interest on drawings. So we can go back to the other section. So here, interest on drawings, we are saying the first one here is 430. And here we have got 265. And these ones now, we show them as negatives. Remember, they are debited in the current account. And then the total here, we are supposed to add it now. Do the opposite under the appropriation now. If you add the two, you're supposed to get 530. Uh, sorry, you're going to get 707. It's okay. You get 535. So here you get 535. And remember, you're showing it's positive. You can leave it like that. Then we go to the next description, which is interest on current. So we go again with partnership agreement to see what is there about interest on current is 5%. Interest on current account is 5% per annum. So we're just going there to check the balances of current account. Then we multiply by 5%. So current account is here. We have got 15,600 and then 4,900. So we can just apply as such. Let's just try to see. Right. So if you see that the for start with the first one, which is 15,600, which is neutral. And remember, let's just cross check the percentage. We have 5%. So 5% is a decimal, it becomes 0.05. So we say 0.05 times the amount that we're having there is 15,600. And then we are going to get, let's try to see what we get there. We get 708. This is for neutral. Then we go to the for petrol. For petrol, we are saying 0.05 again. Then we multiply by the total that we have for petrol, which is 4,000. Let's just try to check there. 4,900. So we put 4,900 there. Then we calculate the amount that we are going to get there is 245. But remember, this one we're going to show it as a negative since it's a debit balance. So we check these figures for interest on current account. So we are coming here. We are saying interest on current, the first one, 708. Show it as a positive. The second one is a debit, so it's a negative 245. So we show it like this. And then here now, we are now saying 780 minus 245. Get the total here that we're supposed to put here, which is 535. So we've got, let's try to see what you get for interest on current. Interest on current, yes, it's supposed to be 535. So we can put our 735. Then here you would see that there is a mistake here. If we say 413 plus 265, you don't get this figure. We can just remove this one. It's a mistake. We are supposed to get 678. So we are saying 678. So this is what we have. So this one, if you see that, if you say 780 minus 245, you get a positive 535. But we are supposed to subtract. If it's a positive, here, it's supposed to be negative. So here we are also supposed to show it in what? In brackets. So we can just check the next description. We've got drawings. For drawings, we're just going to pick the totals that we are having for drawings. that you are given in the list of balances. So if you have here drawings, you got 16,500 for Nictro, and then for petrol 10,600. So you can just come here. You're saying 16,500. Let's try to see. You're saying the first one for drawing 16,500, and the second one we got 10,600. So here in the current, we are supposed to show them, let's try to see, we show them as a negative. So we are saying uh, brackets as a negative, and then the total of them now we are not supposed to put them in the current, but we are going to put them in the column for total equity now. So that's the difference that we have there. So if we come here, you see that the column for total equity is this one. So if say 6,500 minus 10,600, you're going to get 27,100. And that total, you're supposed to put it there in the total equity column, 27,100. And show it as a negative again, because it's going to drawings are reduced at the balance for equity. It reduces the balance for equity. So you go back again to check the next description. It's now partnership shares. So on partnership shares, remember what we are going to do is the balance that we have in the appropriation. Let's just take note there. This is the column for appropriation. So we are going to calculate the net balance that we have here. And then after we calculate the net balance, we share it according to the partners. We can go back there, check what the partnership agreement is saying about the profit sharing ratio. So if you can use that, each partner must be credited with a salary of this is not the description that we want, but B, the remaining profit must be divided between the partners in the ratio of their capital invested. Remaining profit must be divided between the partners in the ratio of their capital invested. So capital invested, we come here to check what proportion do we have for capital invested. We've got 200,000 for Nictro, then 100,000 for petrol. So the 200,000 is to 100,000 is the ratio. So we come here. We are saying the ratio. We can just maybe try to ratio. We are saying 200,000 is to 100,000. So we are coming here. We say the ratio. Ratio is what? This is our ratio. It's 200,000 is to 100,000. So it means if you divide there by 100,000, both sides are going to get 2 is to 1. So what does it mean? This is petrol. This is our Nictro, sorry, and this one becomes our petrol. So it means we're going to add 2, then you get 3, then it becomes the denominator. Then for Nitro, we are now saying 2 over 3. And for petrol, we are now saying 1 over 3 times the proportion or times the balance for appropriation that would have got there. So if you come here, see that the balance that we are going to have there, we can calculate for appropriation. We come now in the column for appropriation, and we are going to say 420,787 minus 230,000 minus 39,083 plus 678, 678. Then you subtract 535. Then the net balance that you get there, you see that the net balance that you are going to get there is 154,847. 154,000. 800 847. So we are saying here the net balance that we are getting there is 154,847. So this is the balance that we are going to share using this ratio that we have just calculated there. So we come here, we are now saying 2 over 3 for 2 over 3 for Nitro is now 2 over 3 times the total for the appropriation that we got there, which is 154,847. So if you calculate, you see that you are going to get to 2 decimal places for For nitro, you get 100. Let's try to see 103. 103,231 0.33 two decimal places. So this is for nitro. Then for petrol, we are saying 1 over 3. Then you multiply again by this. The total amount is 154,847. And see that the answer that we are supposed to get there, we are supposed to get 51,000, 51,615, 615.67 decimal places. So if you add these two, they're supposed to give you this amount, which is the total for our the net figure for appropriation is 154,847. So these are the figures that we are going to put in the columns for petrol and nitro. So we come here, we put those answers that we got there. So we are saying, remember the first one is nitro. So here we are saying the answer that we have says 103,231.33 to decimal place. Then here we got 51,615. So this is what we have, 615. Let's try to say then 0.67. Here's a decimal, it's 0.67. So this is what we have. So if you add these two, you are supposed to get this one is our total. So it means this one now that we've put here, they are supposed to remember if you get a profit, remember this is a positive, so it's a profit. So if it's a profit, it's supposed to be credited in the current account and show it as a positive in this form. But in the appropriation now, we are now subtracting it and removing it. Remember the balance that we are going to have after removing profit or loss or sharing ratios. We are supposed to remain with nothing, so we are supposed to have 0 there. So you have this one is also supposed to be subtracted, so we can just show it in brackets that we are subtracting it, so that the final balance that we are going to have there will be 0. So in this sense, now we are now putting our total balance. So what are we going to do? We are saying for capital, there's nothing. We have got no adjustment that we made there. Come here, see that we only have 200,000 at the top and 100,000. So if you go down, you see that there's nothing that was adjusted in the capital account. So you're just going to put the same opening balances as our closing balance. So this is row for closing balances. So for neutral, we are going to have our 200,000, the same as our opening, and then here also have 100,000 as our closing balance. Then here you are supposed to calculate net balance. So in this sense, we are saying, let's just say, come here, you see that at the beginning, we have take 15,600. So we're saying 15,600 plus 115,000 plus 25,083 minus 413 plus 780. And then you subtract 6,000 and 16,500. You add 103,231.33. And then you come here, the net figure that you are supposed to get here, you put it here now. So what we are saying the net figure comes here and it becomes 242. 781.33. Then we do the same in this column for the next partner. You are supposed to get 164,607 points. Our point is 67. This is all to two decimal places. So this is what we have. So if we add these totals, this 200,000 plus 100,000 plus 242,781.33 plus 164,607.67, the total is supposed to come here, which is 707. 387. So 707,387. So this is what we have. So this total again is the same total that you are supposed to get if you do the calculation vertically. That is, you come here, you say 310,700 plus 423,787, and then you subtract the drawings squared 7,100. You are supposed to come back to this figure again. So whether you do it vertical or horizontal is this row, and then vertical is in this column, last column. So we are supposed to get also the same amount. So this is what we have, guys, in terms of the question of settlement of changes equity of November 2023. Let's stay tuned for more videos to come as we continue looking at the question paper of November 2023. Those who have subscribed, please subscribe and share. We are still coming with more videos as we prepare for exams. Yes, for this video, signing out.